Namaste, welcome dear friends. It's me, Kay, Shri's in a Circle. Once again, thank you so much for supporting this channel and for taking care of yourself, your energetic health, your emotional health, your spiritual well-being. We're on this path of ascension, all of us together, and I am truly, truly so grateful to have you to join me on this path for us to rise, to ascend, to grow, to learn together. So in today's video, we're going to be working on the Spleen Meridian. Now the Spleen Meridian is a critical energetic pathway to boost our immune system. Right? The spleen is a very critical organ that works on fortifying our immune system, correcting our blood supply, and restoring any chemical imbalance. Now, the spleen meridian is a yin meridian. It's really good to do this energetic path during the times of between 9 to 11 a.m. That's very good to work on the spleen. So what it does, essentially, this organ is a very big organ responsible for our lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system is a huge circulatory part of our system. Unlike the blood, it's very similar to the blood, but it's the lymph. Now the lymph helps to fight. Basically, it's the lymph fights off the germs in the blood. Now the spleen is part of the lymphatic system to fight that the germs in our blood flow, and it will detect and it will contain any infection by fighting it off with white blood cells. And it controls as well the whole level of our blood cells, our white, our red, as well as our platelets. And what it does is that this filtering device, basically, it filters the blood and removes all the old or damaged blood cells, red blood cells. And where is it located? Our spleen. I want to say hello to spleen. It's on the left side of our body, right above the stomach. Yeah, so it's on the left side, upper rib cage, right above the stomach. So that's say hello spleen, right? On our left side, just rub it. Okay, this is where the spleen is. Okay. Now the spleen governs the energy of worry, right? It's the earth element, right? It's also governed by the solar plexus. Yeah, so our solar plexus chakra, when it's imbalanced, right, it gets worked up. So the spleen, right, contains the emotion of worry, pensiveness, anxiety, insecurity, and it creates knots in our energy flow. It creates knots in that middle of our stomach. You know, when we feel like we're worried, you feel this knot in your tummy. Yeah, it's very close to the spleen, so that's where it fights the worry. So what we're going to do today is we will work on our energy meridians of our spleen. By doing this, we flush out the worry, and it also boosts our immune system. And on the second part, I'd like to invite you to do a visualization exercise, meditation, where I'd like to bring in one of my totem animals that I've dreamt of recently and that I resonate very deeply, and I believe that this animal will help us as well in letting go of worry and insecurity and anxiety. So if you want to know about what this totem animal is, then you'll have to listen up to the second part of the guided meditation. So we'll first work on the spleen meridian. I don't want your brain to get too excited because, again, you know, this is one of the most difficult part about being human nowadays. It's modern life is that we're so easily distracted. There's distractions always, and our minds get very, very distracted. So it's hard to find stability and stillness. And yet, it is from this stillness that we see our inner light. And with that inner light, we develop clarity. But we have to have stillness. We have to hold our body still. So, enough about the intro. Let's get to work. We're going to work on our spleen meridian. So I'd like to invite you to stand up again. Please stand up on feet apart, shoulder length, and bend over. I'd like you to, okay, we're going to do this reverse. Okay, we're going to go backwards 1 time, and then we're going to go forward on the spleen meridian 3 times. So first, place your hands on your rib cage. Okay, on your side of your waist. Okay, now place your hands, and now your hands goes up towards your chest. Okay, so move your palms of your hand up along your waist, and now from there move your hands down the side of your legs. Okay, keep moving it down the side of your legs. All right, so let's begin our spleen meridian energetic pathway. I'd like to invite you to stand up. We're going to do this backwards 1 time, forward 3 times. So you listen to my instruction as we do this. So standing up, place your hands on the side of your hips. Okay, so you feel your pelvic bone, your hip bone. Good. That's where your hands want to be. Now move it up along your waist until you hit your chest. And now your hands travels inwards towards your pelvic area, and moving your hands now down your thighs along the inside of your thighs, the inside of your calves, all the way to the outside corners of each big toe. Okay, so your right hand will go to your right toe, left hands will go to your left big toe, the outside corners. All right, so just pinch that outside corners of your big toe. Both sides, the outside corners. Okay, your right and your left, just pinch it in. And now we're going to work forwards. This is the forward path of the spleen meridian from the outside corners of your big toes. Your right hand and your left hand will travel along the inside of your calves, up along the inside of your thighs, now flaring out at your hips, traveling up along the side of your rib cage, and down to the bottom of your rib cage till you hug your pelvic bone and say hello to your pelvic bone. Very good. Now bend over again. Pinch your right hand and your left hand around the corners of each big toe. Now travel your palms along the inside of your calves. Flare up your thighs. Now flaring out your palms out along your hips up along the side of your rib cage and down to the bottom until you hug your pelvic bone again. Beautiful. One last time. Bending over, hug the corners of each big toe. Pinch it in. And now travel your attention along the inside of your calf, up along the inside of your thighs. Now flaring out your palms along the side of your hips, traveling up along your waist, up your rib cage, down the rib cage until you hug your pelvic bone. Hello. And that is your spleen meridian. It's a critical energy for our immune system. And so that was a very good workout for your spleen. Your spleen is very grateful to you. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're ready for part 2. And this was a dream message that I had very recently. And this totem animal, I believe that we all have our totem animals. Let me just have a drink of water. Just one sec. We have our totem animals who comes to us. And the thing with dreams is that you have to interpret what it means. So in this vision, I saw a jellyfish. The sea was beautiful. It was calm. It was the ocean. And I was sitting along the jetty of the ocean, on a boardwalk, if you wish. And I saw the water was very clear, dark blue, and there were this majestic white jellyfish with very beautiful, lacy fronts, tentacles. It was huge, and it was just bouncing, billowing like a cloud in the water, just dancing. So to me, the vision of this jellyfish, this white jellyfish, is telling me that sometimes we get very caught up with worry, and it can be for very trivial reasons. It can be a fixation about something, and we get very worked up, we get very worried and insecure about it. So what the jellyfish felt like to me was that, we get sometimes entangled. It's like a knot, because everything is energy at the end of the day. And so when we get tangled up, we're stuck. So visualize yourself as a jellyfish. Now, the jellyfish as an animal, it floats around. It doesn't really direct itself. It just trusts and surrenders completely to the tide and to the current and the ebb and flow of the ocean. And it lets the ocean drift it to where it has to go. This is something that a lot of us humans have difficulty in doing. It's trusting, surrendering, and letting go. And often we get way too ahead of ourselves. We don't see that, we don't trust that the universe has a beautiful plan for us. It's the logical mind fights with that. And it is born from a place of fear and insecurity. That's what it is. And so what it ends up doing is that because of this fear and insecurity, we tend to do more than what we ought to do. We use up our energies on areas in our lives that don't really matter that much. Um, and time is finite, energy is finite. So if you spend your energy a lot on one area of your life, then you don't have much to spare on the other aspects of your life, like your health, your spiritual development, your family, your hobbies, yourself. You deny yourself, right? It's like, and so the jellyfish reminds us that, like him, learn to let go, baby, and trust the flow and ebb of life. And that we are all entangled, anyways, by everything. And so the more you resist, the more you talk about people you don't like and situations you're not happy with, and the more you dwell in relating to friends about events and things that happen to you that you're not happy with, the more resistant you are, the least you're able to rid yourself of the energy. Because if you're talking about such things or people, it means you're not spending the time to sit with that energy, because there's a trigger. That's why we're triggered. There's a part of us that's triggered, the shadow. The shadow is being seen. The shadow is not happy. The shadow is afraid. But if we don't confront our shadow, if we run from our shadow, then we're not going to learn from it. And so by resisting, not surrendering, we're not allowing what ought to happen. Sometimes disease and, this pattern breakers happen in our life, where something happens to you to break up the pattern. It can be seen as, you might perceive it as negative, but really it's nature and universe coming in to say, hey, wake up. I'm sending you a pattern disruptor so that you take the time to see what's actually happening, to tune in to yourself and tune out to the external world. And so the jellyfish is here for us to see that the more we ensnare ourselves in these entanglement, the least we are free. So if you're experiencing a job or a situation where you're deeply unhappy, learn to let go. Even if it's just to breathe into that moment, just stop any resistance. Don't feed it any more energy. Don't talk about it. Don't mention about it. Don't resist, don't react, don't respond. Don't feed into that energy or that person or that situation. And just let it go. And that's the nature of the jellyfish. It has no bones either, right? It's very flexible and it's flowing. And so the idea of the jellyfish symbolism is that you don't have to force anything. Just let the water carry you to where you should go, where you need to go. And so it's really a life of trust and surrender. If you could just get that, a little iota of that magical inspiration from this beautiful jellyfish, just be conscious of where you are ensnaring yourself and entangling yourself in. And that you really don't need to hold on so tightly to people, situations, matters. Everything's impermanent. Everything is changing. And so are you. And so will this difficult moment, and so it shall pass too. Just allow yourself to drift, flow with the ebb and flow of this beautiful life path, but opening your hands like tentacles. You know, the tentacles are flowing and dancing along the orb of this jellyfish, and it's feeling into the slightest movement and vibration in the ocean, and through these tentacles the jellyfish can catch prey because it feels so deeply. So all you really need to do, and that's what the jellyfish totem animal is saying, is to be conscious and to feel into the vibration of the moment. Feel into the frequency of the moment. Tap into this energetic field of energy around you. And so you can feel if this is a negative energy, then seal it up. Seal up your aura. Move away. You can bob yourself away. Bob, 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 bob. Right? Feel it. Before you go headlong and to say yes to everything, you want to feel it first. Tap into your third eye chakra. Say, is this right thing for me or not? And using your intuition, feel the vibration. Tap into your luminosity, because that's the other gift of the jellyfish is the bioluminescence. It can glow in the dark. And when we are still and holding ourselves still in meditation and in stillness, our heart lights up in white light. And so this gift of clarity illuminates the shadow aspect, the unknown, and it's a natural protection from harm because we're no longer going to rush into things, we're going to rush into danger, rush into, going to actually hold back and use our inner wisdom and inner light to navigate throughout the darkness. And so this beautiful white jellyfish totem animal, which I'm truly very, very grateful to. And as I'm saying this, I'm just looking at my crystal as well. I have this beautiful opal. And so opal and selenite white crystals are very nice angelic frequencies. And so holding this crystal, I'd like you to envision this beautiful, majestic white jellyfish that is you, swimming free in this ocean, this universe, universal current, in full trust and surrender, while being very conscious of the slightest vibration and tuning in and allowing all your senses to tingle and light up with white, bright light. Namaste. Thank you for listening, and may you be happy and peaceful. May you be free from worry, free from anxiety. May you trust that this beautiful universe has all your intentions at heart, so that you may expand and grow into who your soul, spirit, higher self wish to be. May all your manifestations come true. Drop all resistance and listen. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart frequency and trust your inner divine truth, who will always guide you in places and times when all around is dark. May you find that inner light, and may this inner light guide you to a path of wisdom, peace, clarity, and love. Namaste. Bye. Love, love.